Hello there people, Antanas Sparrowboom here. Welcome to my channel. So this will be the fourth and final book for the Indie Ink Awards 2023. This is also the only epic fantasy I've read for the competition, which is definitely the most similar to the genre I write in myself, but I'll do my best not to let that influence my opinions. In fact, this was probably the most difficult review I've written so far. Now, the book I read was Petition by Delilah Wan, which is a fantasy murder mystery set in the so-called Dominion of Alesnois Wait. I'll just assume I'm pronouncing this correctly. Anyway, from what I understood, it's an empire ruled by several great houses, all of which constantly vie for power and influence, using resonance mages like our protagonist Rahilu as pawns. What I liked most about Petition was definitely the originality. All the names were very unique, as was the political system and society around it. Now, perhaps this felt more original to me due to having a non Western cultural backdrop, which is what I'm less familiar with in fantasy. But still, I was very impressed by the world building. The characters were also very well written. They each had very clear motivations and character arcs, especially Rahilu. Everything Rahilu did was to give her parents a better life, and this made her a really compelling character because she was constantly being so selfless. Now, ultimately, I feel like Petition was more a theme-based story than a plot-based story. Yes, it's technically a murder mystery, but to me, the class struggle was always far more interesting. Petition shows how difficult it is for an immigrant from a poor family to find their place in a society ruled by the elite. Rahilu was constantly being handicapped by her responsibility to her parents, and this kept the stakes constantly high. The choice to make the other characters' nobility also really emphasized the differences between Rahilu and pretty much everybody else in the houses. Now, what I didn't so much enjoy was the complexity. Like a lot of epic fantasy stories, Petition can be quite complicated at times. Especially it has a pretty big cast of characters, and usually they were well differentiated, but at times I mixed them up as well. What really caught me out was the way that all the houses start with the letter I, and while this is thematically quite cool, it also makes it harder to differentiate them. All in all, it felt quite a lot like the Malazan Book of the Fallen series by Stephen Erickson, in that it throws you into this world and forces you to figure everything out by yourself. This extends to the magic system, which was also quite complex. It felt like it was following its own set of rules that I could never really understand as a reader. Basically, the magic system in Petition is based on manipulating emotion through space and time. So, using it both to gather information about the past or the future, or to attack people with it. Now, I honestly think it would have been a lot easier to follow and understand if there was a glossary or some kind of in-universe guide to how the magic system worked. But on the other hand, that would probably take away from a lot of the fun of the magic system, and it would take away some of the mystery of the story, and it is a mystery after all. Unfortunately, the complexity did turn me off for Petition, just like it did for Malazan back when I read it. That said, I do find it very important to distinguish between enjoyment and quality. I think Petition was probably the most well written and thought out book I've read for the Indie Ink Awards, especially because there's so much information to think about and to chew on. I would probably recommend it to slightly older audiences. The protagonist is a young adult, but I would probably recommend this to older readers. Now, in terms of rating, I would give this story a solid 4.5 stars. With a little bit more exposition, I would definitely have given it 5 stars, but I definitely appreciate the author's choice in keeping exposition to a minimum. And again, I really think it was a very well thought out novel and quite well written. As usual, remember to support the author by buying their book, and thank you for watching.